All month long, we are battling the Cowboys report in a like battle to see which of our respective channels can get the more likes on their videos. And folks, I'm sad to report we're a little bit behind right now. Cowboys at 550, we're at 535. Let's stick it to the Cowgirls. Tom Downey doesn't think we can get 1,000 likes on today's video. Prove them wrong. Hit that like button, and we'll get started with today's show. Welcome in to this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. The Kansas City Chiefs might have given Seattle Seahawks fans some great news. And the key word is might. Still a lot of ways to go to get to where we need to be on this, but let's tell you what this is. According to a new report this week from The Athletic, the Kansas City Chiefs are not expected to re-sign offensive guard Trey Smith, making him available for any team to sign in NFL free agency. And there's been a lot of rumblings over the last few weeks that Trey Smith very well could be Seattle's top free agent target when the market opens here in a few weeks from right now. Let's start with this from Nate Taylor of The Athletic. He covers the Chiefs. He said the following: Smith is expected to be the most coveted offensive lineman this year in free agency. The Chiefs are not expected to place the franchise tag or transition tag on Smith, according to a league source. And Taylor went on to add that he thinks that the Chiefs will likely not get a long-term deal done. They will try, but ultimately will probably not be able to bring back Trey Smith to Kansas City. So I'll say this. I don't know if Seattle is going to be high on Trey Smith's list of teams that he's potentially interested in signing with. I don't know. But there is an opportunity now, and with the way the cap situation looks, more on that here in just a second, that if John Schneider decides they want to make a run, they want to be aggressive and go after Trey Smith, they have the opportunity to do so. And here's what I mean. So we told you earlier in the week about the good news about the cap situation, that the Seahawks have more cap space than they initially thought, with the NFL moving the cap up significantly from where it was in 2024. That currently leaves Seattle with just over $6 million in cap space. That doesn't sound like a lot, but there are some expected moves to really open up that money for Seattle. Geno Smith, his extension can save Seattle about $24 million. An extension for DK Metcalf can save the Hawks about $12 million. Releasing Tyler Lockett, like we all expect, will save Seattle about $17 million. Draymond Jones being released will save this team about $16.51 million. Noah Fant, if he gets released, that's another $9 million off the books. Uchenna Nwosu, if he is cut, that's close to $15 million that's gone. Rayshon Jenkins, if he's released, that's just over $5 million. Roy Robertson Harris, you move on from him, and that's about $6.6 million. In all, then you have a total cap savings of $88.9 million to your disposal. And so then the question becomes, do you want to bring in Trey Smith? And the money is there if they do these moves. You can sign him. His projected price tag is expected to make him the highest paid offensive guard in football at $22 million a year. So that's about a 4-year, $88 million deal. All right. It's all laid out in front of you. Let's see if Seattle makes a run to do so. It would be great. I'd be all in for it. I would have no complaints, but let's see what they do. Now, your turn to be John Schneider. Should the Hawks sign Trey Smith? Type S for sign, P for pass. Weigh in on our comment on our pinned comment today and let us know what you think. Seahawks Today is bringing you the best Seahawks coverage you won't find anywhere else, as we have our daily news and rumors, live shows twice a week on Mondays and Wednesdays, breaking news, Q&A mailbags, your one-stop shop for all things Seattle Seahawks If you love the Hawks, this is the channel for you. I need at least 40 people to subscribe to the channel today. And if you're a real member of the 12s, you got to be subscribed. That's the only way you can prove you're a member of the 12s is being subscribed to Seahawks Today. Subscribe now, youtube.com/SeahawksTV. You'll be glad you did. Now, I would say this. What has really frustrated me with how John Schneider has gone about this offensive line situation, we are sitting here in the year of our Lord, 2025, and the offensive line issues, it's not a new problem. I know that this past year was the worst it's looked, but this has been an ongoing issue, and it goes back to Johnny being a cheap ass. And you look at this situation, it's time. It's past time for John Schneider and company to get serious about fixing this offensive line. Because, in my humble opinion, this is the number one thing that is holding this Seahawks team back is this offensive line. Geno Smith, say what you want about Geno. He still threw for 21 touchdowns, a completion percentage over 70% with that offensive line protecting him. In the run game, we know Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet are capable, but there's only so much you can do if you don't have guys that can block for you. And if they actually invest and get what they're looking for in the offensive line, then it will make everything so much better. You don't have to be a genius to figure this out. So what about Trey Smith? Why Trey Smith? Well, in his short time in the NFL, he's put together an impressive resume already. The 6th-round pick out of Tennessee in 2021, a part of 2 Super Bowl championships with the Kansas City Chiefs, just had the best season of his career, was named a Pro Bowler for the first time in 2024. And I'll say this, too. The Kansas City Chiefs, this was a team that had their own share of offensive line issues, particularly on the left side at the left tackle spot. But the Chiefs, they may have had 99 problems, but Trey Smith wasn't one. All right? He did his job. The interior of that offensive line with Joe Toney and Creed Humphrey, they had some good cats there. Trey Smith was fantastic. And I think that there's no reason to believe he wouldn't do the same thing here in Seattle of what he was doing in Kansas City. We'll have more on Trey Smith in a moment, but first, folks, we got a deal for you. Seahawks hats are on sale now for up to 50% off. We got all sorts of hats to choose from the flat bill to the baseball cap. Go see for yourself. Plenty to choose from at chatsports.com/Seahawks hats to get yours today. You can also see our other Seahawks gear that we're selling on that link as well. That's chatsports.com/Seahawks hats to get yours today. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Here's the thing I like about Trey Smith more than anything else is that he's been extremely reliable. This is a guy, folks, that fell to the 6th round because of some blood clot concerns when he was at the University of Tennessee. But that hasn't been an issue. And injuries and all that have not been a problem for Trey Smith. He has been dependable for Patrick Mahomes and company. He has only missed 1 game in his first 4 seasons in the National Football League. That's a guy that the Chiefs have been able to count on time and time again, and I think he would do the same thing here in Seattle as well. And you look at the numbers, all right? The offensive line issues for Seattle, the biggest has been the run blocking. Trey Smith, he would help out with that. Had an 80.8 overall run block grade this past year. Pass block grade, pretty solid as well. 70.8 overall grade, 78.8. Those are fantastic numbers I can work with. And when we talk about protecting the quarterback, we mentioned that he does a good job when it comes to run blocking. But the pass blocking, he holds his own too. He only allowed 1 total sack for the entire 2024 regular season. So the resume, what you're looking for in this position, it is all there with Trey Smith. All right? He is worth the $22+ million. The only thing holding Seattle back from being a playoff team in 2025 and taking that next step forward is the offensive line. And what have we said? since Mike Macdonald took this job, that it was a 2-year plan, that step one was to be, a fringe playoff team. They didn't make the postseason, but they did win 10 games. And year 2, the second step was to get this team to be a contending team, to be a threat in the NFC. And if you bring in Trey Smith, if you invest and you fix this offensive line, that is going to be the solution you have been desperately looking for to get this team to where they want to go. Now, do you trust John Schneider? Is he going to come through for us and get this offensive line fixed? You got 2 options here. Type Y for yes, and for no. Weigh in. Let us know what you think. If you enjoyed today's show, you already know what to do. Hit that like button. We certainly would appreciate it. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.